We are the champions, no time for losers, because we are the champions. And I can't wait to hear the thoughts of Nikhil Popat and Akshay Kumar Swami. You guys are watching episode 70 of Monday Night Live with me, Avnish Hegde, and we've got the revised thumbnail, we've got the Champions Trophy with us, and we have the IPL to look forward to. Boys, what a weekend. Nikhil, let me start with you. Dressed appropriately in blue. It just feels nice to win an ICC title.
Yeah, the morning after, I'm sure a lot of us relate to this. Sometimes the wins are sweeter the next morning when you wake up. You don't have the trophy with you. It's just that feeling. Everything seems nice, so nice. Please keep going on. We'll take on the course in a different way. So very, very happy for the team. I think this bunch deserved an ODI silverware, and they've rightly got there. You can debate whatever you want to, but nothing against performance. So well won.
Absolutely. And look, before you guys start hating us in the comments for all the things we've been saying about certain players and agendas, we want to appreciate this Indian team tonight. And we want to appreciate the captain, Akshay. As much as we've spoken about Rohit Sharma on this platform, I was just looking at the records, and he's lost just one white ball final in his captaincy career, which is that 2023 ODI World Cup final. So it just speaks volumes about Rohit. No matter what anyone would say at this moment in time, what's your first take on India being Champions Trophy winners?
Deserved winners, to be honest. I mean, we all always spoke about it. Just look at this side, irrespective of conditions. Again, you can criticize them as much as you want, but you cannot deny the fact that this is arguably the best white ball team I've ever seen, and arguably the best white ball team of this millennium. And this is saying something, considering what we've seen in the past as well. But yeah, I mean, it was fabulous to watch a lot of the reactions. Good for the Team India fans as well. We all know what happened in 2023. I'm hoping that this provides some solace that way. It was nice to watch, all the laughs and all the players also sort of, letting it a bit loose, so to say. You know how much pressure they also have to face, and what all's going behind the locker room when it comes to things like these. There's been so much spoken about India and the fact that they've not really been able to do well in ICC events, especially knockout games and all of that. So happy for them, happy for KL Rahul especially. I've always been one of those who believe that the World Cup final knock was being criticized a lot more than necessary. People were being a lot more harsh on him than needed, but happy to see that he's been able to come good, and hopefully this is the start of something special for him as well.
Yeah, well summed up with both you guys, and we'll get into more thoughts about the Champions Trophy. I'll put you guys in the spot as well. We'll get some chats coming in from the live comments, and I'll just take a few because obviously everyone's celebrating with us. Vasant Ryan first, of course, getting into the chat, and good to see all you boys and girls like this video quickly, because even with the thumbnail, we've done our bit, and I think we're going to be just enhancing the show every time from time to time. Guys, continue with MNL and with the watch along. And can BCCI pay MI twice amount and ensure Bumrah is fit for England Test series? I think they will ensure to do so. Vasant Ryan also saying, should BCCI convince Rohit to retire and start looking for the future captain? Not Ahmedabad Gill is Chant put, because we saw consistency issue in the shortest format, whereas Iyer was consistent. We'll get into those thoughts for sure. And he also sums up by saying, I believe as a captain, consistency in white ball is needed. Virat provided us during his tenure. So your take as well. We'll get that cracking. And in case we miss any of your comments, there's always the 12th man section. Vansh Gupta saying Hood. Yes, welcome to Hood. Welcome to MNL. If you guys are, of course, watching it, it says Hood, right? Or no? Hui.
Hui is what it says. I'm guessing he means ho gaya, like in that sense. I don't know if he's meaning anything else.
Fair. Akshay down under is disappointed inside because his favorite team name lost. I mean, to be fair, let's cut Akshay some slack. He's been already down in the dumps after RCB. Women have not, of course, had impeccable title defense. Tala for a reason saying Amit Dubey And Noodlehax with us and saying MNL is an emotion. Hi, Nick, Akshay and Avnish. Akshay going to be happy to share about the ban of Brook. We'll get into that in IPL chat. There's so much to talk about. There's another comment saying this from Ayush Kumar. All the doubts about Rohit Sharma, the skipper, has been absolutely shut up for all once. Finally, 22 wins in 23 games in ICC events. The skipper's just fire. Absolutely. And all the talk about KL Rahul not winning an ICC event, Mohammad Shami being an ICC curse, that's been, of course, taken off their backs respectively. So honest to God, it's been a fantastic weekend for everyone. Alan James continues to say a Monday that's blue, but a whole different kind. I agree with you. And freaking awesome saying, even if you take the last 10 years, apart from India, no team has the win-loss ratio above 2 in ODIs. India's ODI side is pretty strong, but just had the hiccups and knockouts in ICC tournaments before. Good stat that you point out there. Freaking awesome. Greg K. Love getting Greg's thoughts always in the chat. He says best team in the millennium, that's still Australia. They won everything that they played. And that's basically a riposte to what Akshay said in his opening bit. And good evening, boys. Avni should be happy that United didn't lose yesterday after India's victory. Indeed, it would have been a double bonanza, and it was a superb free kick from Bruno, but we'll save the football chat for later because it's all about cricket right now. And we'll also delve deep into some of the cricketers who were arrested in their life. And of course, that's coming out of a Sri Lankan cricketer being arrested this week. So we'll talk about that. So much to get into. Get your dinners in and like this video for starters. Right. So where do we start? Your first thoughts, guys, on now the future of the Champions Trophy, Nikhil. I mean, many people are saying in different parts of the world, if India don't win the Champions Trophy, this tournament will be redundant. But now they won it. Now Virat and Rohit, I think, have said in many ways that they might not retire, might play the 2027 World Cup. What is the future of ODIs for you, Nikhil?
It's always been here to stay. I don't know why people are hell-bent with an axe. This format is dying, this format is dying. The only thing that is dying is your concentration and dedication levels, nothing else. Because even in the ODI World Cup, even in the Champions Trophy, it gave you enough phases of play where that's why we like ODIs. That's why you like ODIs, because you saw what happened in Australia, England. You saw what happened in England, Afghanistan. You saw what happened in Pakistan tri-series as well just before that. So I think enough proof that ODIs are here to stay. They've always been. You just need to give them context. I think people enjoy Champions Trophy also because there was context to every game. So and you can't just play the World Cups because you'll have to prepare for them. And so your bilaterals are important. Maybe there is a road down the road about having consequences for every single ODI that you play, that you have a championship table of sorts. But I don't think this format is going anywhere. If anything aside, I'll just ask the makers of the game, Kukubura, get me a good white ball. Get me a good white ball that can hold for 50 overs, and you'll enjoy watching ODI cricket even more.
No, I think those are very, very good points. And I don't know if the chat agrees with them. They should, because ultimately, think about the attention span that Nikhil just mentioned right now. Because yes, we love T20 cricket. Yes, we like reels as people who consume on Instagram and all these shorter places of content. But ODI cricket, Akshay, what this tournament told me is that some games showed the great advertisement of 50-over cricket. And like Nikhil said, if they just sort out the ball, where when we grew up watching ODI cricket, it was one ball, similar to the last time New Zealand played India in a Champions Trophy final 25 years ago. Even if you look at that match, it comes down to the ball. India were 141 for no loss with Sachin and Ganguly flying, and they ended up with a 264 because 25 overs, you can't change the ball and all of that. So does that literally come down to the ball in ODI cricket? Or is it, again, with this generation and the influx of T20s, it's something to think about?
It's definitely something to think about. And, those are two primary reasons behind why ODI as a format is not, sort of catered to the current generation. One being, of course, like Nikhil Bhai mentioned, and this is something even I've spoken about before, with 2 balls, with the current field restrictions, which is also another reason, according to me, why, this has sort of become even more batter friendly. As a format, ODI can only sustain itself if there's something to it. Like, for instance, if it's going to be 1 ball, you'll start seeing bowlers also attempting reverse swing, trying to, hone that talent. White ball mein reverse swing abhi hai hi nahi. It's a skill that's obsolete. Red ball mein dekhne ko milta hai, white ball. In fact, I remember vaguely there was a T20 and after 15, 16 over mein bhi halka sa reverse swing dikh raha tha, but that was again the surface being extremely abrasive. So maybe that is something that will help ODIs sustain a bit of or retain a bit of relevance. Barring that, I would still have to see, man. Like, again, Champions Trophy, ICC even still makes sense. So, which is why like Nikhil bhai mentioned, thoda context jab aata hai, to there's still a lot more curiosity ki kya hoga, what's going to happen with my favorite team, are they going to go out of the tournament, will they go through, and all of it. But according to me, I'll still sort of stand by my words. Have a World Cup, have a qualifier for the World Cup, just like the FIFA. Make it a proper qualifier where every team has to play. No team gets direct qualification barring the hosts. Make it a full-blown event. जहाँ पे 4 साल में एक बार you first see a 2-3 month qualifier, and then you see the main event. That's also another couple of months. I see no reason why something like that cannot be pulled off by the ICC, because until then, bilaterals as it exists today, again, there's very little relevance. And I agree with Nikhil bhai in that, there were a couple of games that were very interesting. I also loved watching both of England's fixtures, the one against Afghanistan and the one against England. But even then, there were like a handful, like at best, I would say 4, including the India-Australia semi-final and the final, जहाँ पे मेरा personally थोड़ा था, invested था कि क्या होगा, and that's 4 out of 40. Like, I would, if you want to say compare it with the test is where you actually see a lot more skill. It's anyway a very niche format. So I enjoyed. So that's my personal opinion. So ODIs, mere liye abhi bhi, I'm still not entirely sold on it. Happy for India. I know this also means ODIs will continue to exist, because kya hoga. And yeah, exactly. Because ICC's own sort of vision of ODIs has been that it is a 50 over T20, and जहाँ पे बीच के 30 over जो middle में होता है, you look at the field restrictions, look at the way it's played, it's almost like a बीच का 30 निकाल दो, पहले का 10, आखिर का 10. That's all people are coming to watch. So that's where I'm at. But yeah, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, there'll always be ways to enhance each format, and ODIs you guys are suggesting in the chat as well. Some good comments coming through. Vasundarayan had this to say. Freaking awesome also saying playing ODIs and sporting wickets and making batters toil for their runs. I like 270, 280 kind of ODIs. It would be good for that viewing point of view, and as an even contest as well. And again, it just comes down to sometimes the finances of the game and people not going to ODIs. So how do boards kind of sustain themselves? But again, let's see how it really unfolds with regards to that. Just regards to the Champions Trophy, guys, I just want to ask you all a couple of fast ones. So I decided to line up rapid fire just to play it with y'all and especially the chat. So all you guys be ready in the comments. Like this video as well and answer with Nix and Akshay and me, because this is what I've lined up. My producer has got some questions for y'all, which I will, of course, give it to Akshay and Nix, and then you guys can have your say in the chat as well. So first one, Akshay and Nix, best player in Champions Trophy 2025 for y'all, personally.
I have a name, lot of bias.
नहीं आप जाओ फिर
मेरे लिए personally, maybe because of the story, and I'm a sucker for seeing arcs being completed. Varun Chakravarti, just completely enjoyed watching him. Was arguably one of India's better bowlers this time around, and played a very big role in ensuring India did not miss Kuldeep's lack of form, especially till the final, of course. So yeah, it'll have to be him for me again. बहुत ज़्यादा personal bias. There are a lot of equally good contenders, but I'll go with him.
Okay, New Relax with Vasant saying Varun /Rachin. Sports fan saying Akshay Patel, Asim Hunt saying Shreyas Iyer. Next, who are you going for as your favorite player this tournament?
Yeah, to me, Akshay Patel. I think his batting at 5 was a game changer, because it made sure that India could bat deep till 8. You had Jadeja coming at it, which meant KL could play his role. Hardik could come out and just swing at whatever he wanted to, batting at 7. And not to forget, Aksar always bowled in the first half, kept things very, very tight to ensure anybody who came on to bowl from the other end had that benefit. So may not have the numbers to go by, may not have the wickets to go by, but I think he played a very pivotal role, almost what we expect of Hardik Pandya, so to speak. So for me, Aksar Patel in that regard.
Okay, for me, Shreyas Iyer, I think Shreyas has always been someone who I keep a close eye on. I know people say he's a spin basher, but at times he played the situation yesterday as well. Even though he was, I think, 8 of the first 21 balls he faced, he had the ability to catch up. He has the ability to go into 4th and 5th gear. And that's what I like about this rejuvenated Shreyas Iyer. And let's make no mince about what he's achieved as a cricketer in the last 18 months, from the IPL as a captain, and then as a SMAT. He's got the Champions Trophy as well. So there's so much to, of course, love is a Shreyas Iyer fan. So I would say Shreyas Iyer in that
And
regard.
and all of that without a center contract. Just to be
Yes,
just to be very
yes.
clear.
That was exactly the words even Hardik Vora mentioned in our office, because I was saying, yeah, Shreyas Iyer, player of the series for you, was like potentially, and look what he's achieved without the contract. So it's something for the BCCI to think about as well. Vasan Narayan echoing our thoughts, or mine at least, saying Iyer is my favorite. Whenever he came, I saw a sense of calmness. This innings, he was fantastic. Oh, sorry, frenetic, which was a little weird from Iyer. Yeah, he looked like a cat in a hot tin roof, but he got the job done. That's all that matters. I rate Shreyas' contribution more than Varun's, considering how tough to bat in the middle overs he has scored consistently through the tournament. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Agree to Akshay's point as well, because Varun, of course, it's been a life coming a whole circle for him, where he started off his ICC kind of adventures in Dubai in that 2021 World Cup, and now, of course, what he's done has been beautiful. Guys, for me, it's Virat Kohli, because let's be honest, when he got out yesterday on one correction, cricket info, we all panicked a little bit. We did. Even I'll hold my hand up and panic. But at that point in time, I was backing Rohit to get us through. And then when Rohit departed, this Indian team just gives me so much conviction right through down the batting order. So it's just easy for me to sit and say, but I know the pressure is nonetheless. Right, moving on to question 2 in terms of this rapid fire. Not so rapid, clearly, but it's nonetheless good to hear from everyone's point of view. Best match of the tournament. I think Akshay hinted upon a few. I'll start with Nick's here. I know maybe what Akshay might say, but Nick's, you never know. So, Nick's, what is your favorite match of Champions Trophy 2025?
It's got to be the same, I feel.
Should be England Afghanistan. There is no reason for it to not be. Always good when England learn a bit more about cricket. Maybe a game that they invented, but they hardly know how to play. But cannot rule that out, because it's one thing to do it once, but to do it twice is what makes it not an upset, but a very clinical win. So yeah, England Afghanistan, hands down.
Akshay, for you?
Yeah, I mean, you can't look past that. Like, it has to be England,
Yeah.
Afghanistan. As someone who is very much a part of Underdog FC, like Nikhil Bhai, that was just the game to watch. It was brilliant. Again, upset to दूर की बात है, the way they were clinical, because बीच में ऐसा लगा था कि they have dropped the game. They were clearly behind the 8 ball in the middle phase of the second innings. From there, the way they came back, those final couple of overs, yeah, Fazal Faruqi, Umar Zain, yeah, that was fantastic. Fantastic.
I'm actually with Summit, VK, and Noodle Hacks. I think India, Australia, for me, just gripped me right through and through. I think even Australia, the fact that they just managed to take India so close, even though they were kind of losing that game in many parts of it, just told me that, look, it was still two cracking sides playing a game which went down to the wire. And that's how ODI cricket is loved. But look, nothing to fault England, Afghanistan, and the innings of Zadran. Now, what is a clutch performance for y'all? It could be a spell, a knock, a particular anything, but anything defined clutch. So, Nick, again, you can have first go here.
Omar Zai Pfeiffer could have been anything. There were quite a few contenders. If you honestly ask me, there was Josh Inglis with his century. There was Ibrahim Zadran again in the very same game. But I think, again, Omar Zai is not a name that people often say he can bowl at the back end. But for him to come good like that for Afghanistan in that role, especially when Fazal did not quite have the impact that he should have. So I would go with him. Again, I wanted to go with India, but the good thing about this Indian win is there have been many small performances, and all of them at times I feel have been very, very important. So difficult to judge that. So for me, Omar Zai versus England.
Okay, lots of shouts again randomly in the chat. Guys, let us know as well before I take this chat forward. Akshay, what is it for you? Clutch performance. I know mine, but I don't know if it's similar to yours.
Yeah, I wanted to say KL, but I actually will go with Ibrahim Zadran versus England. Fantastic knock that was, and all the more because of the kind of pacers England had gone in with. Clearly both bowlers, rather both pacers who could clock 150 consistently at the top, something he had to contend with, and we've always been critical of the likes of Ibrahim Zadran, Rahmat Shah, with reason, because we know कि बहुत potential है वहाँ पे. Clearly, they have a very good technique. It was now all about just applying themselves and showing that they have the gears in them to sort of go and accelerate, and to be able to do that against those against that pace attack, the kind of paces they necessarily don't really face a lot of back home. Yeah, that's what made it even more mind blowing for me personally. And yeah, I mean, KL versus Australia. I mean, KL versus New Zealand also shot that was also phenomenal innings under pressure and all of that. So there are a lot of contenders, but yeah, I'll stick to Abraham Zadran.
The Kohli fanboy in me would draw his 100 against Pakistan purely because, look, every time Virat Kohli bats for India, there's so much of pressure on his shoulders, and especially in a contest of that. I think losing the chips down, getting the team over the line, that will always be the mega match for every Indian. And for him to get the job done, even though he's got the job done 20,000 times against them before, it was just, again, a stamp of authority. So I like the left field shouts, and I think all the shouts in the chat as well. But personally, again, this is a rapid fire that we can all kind of share our thoughts about. Right. So fourth question. Forget the clutch because we've answered that. Catch of the tournament. Now, it basically comes down to Glenn Phillips 1, Glenn Phillips 2, Glenn Phillips 3, Glenn Phillips 4. Maybe there are other contenders. So give me your top Glenn Phillips catch from the tournament, and then who's your second favorite catch, barring Glenn Phillips, if that makes sense.
So my favorite Glenn Phillips catch, one that impacted the match the most, I feel, was for Mohammad Rizwan. Because I think against Virat, against Gill, India had still enough people around and below and above them to ensure that the match was not cost. But Rizwan won, I think, the biggest player, informed player, and to get him out like that, I think, was crazy. And my second best was Alex Carey. To Phil Salt, I think that was absolutely specky. And again, he's a keeper. For a keeper to be standing at mid on, and then and he was at mid on there. So to catch something like that, I think was very, very important for Australia to strike against England.
Okay, fair. I like the Glenn Phillips catch of Gill because I just think it was a bullet at him more than the side where you kind of throw yourselves in the pool as kids to emulate that. But this one, you needed to kind of have your balls out as well in terms of not shying away from it. And it just stuck because everything is sticking in terms of his catch efficiency. So that Glenn Phillips catch for me, Akshay, and I would probably go for a Kane Williamson short fine leg grab against Bangladesh. That was also a good one. I think that stands tall in my mind. What is it for you?
Yeah, with Phillips, I'll also have to stick to Gill. I was trying to compare Gill versus KL and Rizwan. Kohli and Rizwan. The thing with Kohli's was it was a lot more instinctive. Gully, us taraf, you don't have, there's no time. It's just instinctive. You try, it sticks, great. In this case, like you said, there was just that bit more time to react. He either fight or flight kicks in, you either sort of just evade or you try and go for it. He actively went for the catch, and yeah, man, when it was slow-mo, maybe dekha. It's just the visuals of it, the way he's just, I mean, it's bending in ways I did not know my body could bend. Matlab, kar kya raha hai banda wahan pe, acrobatics. So that was phenomenal to watch. And another catch, I'm forgetting Carey's catch, yaar, wo kiska tha? England only. Deep sweeper cover, yeah, deep mid wicket. Matlab, I don't know if it was a lefty or a righty, but wahan se usne ek blinder liya tha. That day he took 3 blinders, to be honest. He also took, I don't know if it was him or Josh Inglis took not Josh Inglis. Who was it at short third cover point के आसपास किसी और ने एक blinder लिया था उसी दिन. But Carey का मेरा वो deep वाला catch बहुत सही था. I don't remember who the batter was. Apologies for that. But yeah, that was my favorite non-Phillips catch.
Okay, fair. Harry Brook catch, saying Raj Chakrabarti. Thanks for that little piece of information. Giant chasing Matt Henry. Crick Info just put this in saying Avnish the Glenn Phillips catch. I completely agree with you in terms of your choices right now because second was that Rizwan catch to his left, but the first one of Gill was just sublime. So agree with you. Finally, just to wrap up this Champions Trophy 2025 rapid fire. Final questions for you boys and girls and Akshay and Nikhil. One reason why you'd remember this tournament, it could be anything. It could be a catch. It could be where you watched the final from, any memory. When I say Champions Trophy 2025, even 10 years later, Nikhil, you go first.
Yeah, this will need some time to think. Not even close to a rapid fire answer that. I don't know.
Like, for example, for me, I will look back at this tournament in terms of this was a great achievement without Bumrah. And I'll be like, bro, we didn't have Bumrah then, but we still won it. I look back at it personally in terms of office memories and the time where I started dating again. So basically, Champions Trophy 2025 is just a point of time in my life where I can be like, that's when I started dating her. So Akshay, what is it for you?
Everybody's looking for ones into twos, but take a good ODIs. That's how ODIs catch up.
Exactly. Now life has become like that. I am going to be the worst part of 30. So Akshay, why would you remember the CT 2025?
You know, I have a very good personal reason, but I don't think Avnish will be too pleased with it. So I'm just trying to think if this is the place to put it out there. But
बोल दे
ठीक है नहीं कुछ नहीं so India basically won an ICC trophy on my birthday, so that was
my god, I knew it. This guy just didn't tell us. This is a problem, Nikhil. This is the problem with this guy. He just doesn't tell us anything.
Which is why he said no, it's cool,
So
guys.
The point, Akshay, there's no point.
It's
just tell
it's
us.
okay.
It's not something that you can take with you and like, oh, I didn't tell anyone. Great.
Not like, क्या you want me to just सामने से आके बोलो क्या कि हाँ मेरा ये birthday है हाँ wish करना क्या बोल
I want a banner to be made. सोनक भाई मेरे को चाहिए कि एक banner बना के रखो अब. Now we will celebrate next जब भी MNL hopefully next year करेंगे तेरा week बनाएंगे हम लोग.
अच्छा.
And bro, 1 second. So 9th of March is your birthday.
Yeah.
9th of March. So now I'm going to pen that down. Every time I think of 9th of March.
अभी मैं नहीं बोल रहा है.
Cool. That's unbelievable.
And
I'm pretty sure Nikhil, he didn't even hint it to you when he came visiting you, right? Saying, yeah, birthday.
Why would in what context would anyone just randomly say कि हाँ भाई मेरा उस दिन क्यों बोल मतलब किस context में मैं बोलूँगा? नहीं, thank you so much, guys. Unintended apologies for that, but thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Okay, honestly, happy birthday from us as well. Jokes apart, hope you've had a great time, and we will give you some love in office with all the pats and the smashes and the cakes and stuff as well. So just quickly, for the people curious to know, what did you get up to on your birthday?
No. Moving on very swiftly and very quickly.
Anything? Did you go for a hike, dinner? You could just sum it up.
No, I didn't go for a hike. I spent some time chilling and हमने उस दिन बात किया था ना 1-8 में तो बस भाई thank you so much guys. So chilling with the said person, just spend some time cooking, watching the game together and stuff like that. That's it, nothing else. Okay, super. Damodar Balna saying happy birthday, Akshay. Nikhil smack a cake to his face. I wish we were in the same room.
अगर होता सामने तो हो ही जाता.
But yeah, I wasn't wrong. At least I got that right. I knew Avnish wouldn't be too pleased to hear that. So there you go.
Now I know why I remember Champions Trophy very, very well now. Okay, of course for India played very well, but this did not even share. Okay, why? Again in what? No. No problem. We accept.
I popped it in the group. Popped it in the group. What do you mean? We have to wish you. You're one of our bloody long-standing teammates. You can't just go under the radar like that. And Cricket.com saying,
exactly.
Of course.
We know he was on mute. See, we know for sure he was on mute again. That is for sure.
And how could I have known, Neural? How could I know? I know I'm close to Akshay, but like the guy just like...
No, I haven't. Yeah, exactly.
He works for the MI6. He works for the MI6. He works for Raw or something like that. He's so like low-key in office. It's unbelievable. Rohit Sharma was not even after the power play just for Akshay.
Oh, yeah, exactly. See, yeah, they itna criticize karne ke baad dekho bhai, aise din pe he was waiting for this. He was waiting for this specific moment in this. So there you go. Something to definitely be happy.
Could have been on the Saturday watch along as to why you couldn't do watch along for the CT25 panel, but happy birthday, Akshay. Yeah, thanks for all the wishes, guys, and Akshay, enjoy your year ahead. And Naniko going back to the chat saying he'll remember this 2025 tournament for Vikrant Gupta, maybe a live show that he's done. But good on all you guys to get in your thoughts. Varun can replace Kuldeep if Bumrah in, saying Deepak randomly. Ayush saying test of the format where India need to work on. So I think all these guys have just jumped on the Monday Night Live show. Good on you guys. If you guys are fast forwarding later, you can, or watch it fully with time codes as well clipped out. But just make it a point to like this video because it helps with the people watching the show right now. We're almost done with the Champions Trophy talk. There is a lot of IPL chat that we want to get into, include Harry Brook's ban We'll talk about Corbin Bosch and how he's chosen the IPL over the PSL. We'll also talk about the other replacements which could come in for Delhi and whether RCB do need replacements in the first place, because I think Bethel is fit, Hazelwood is fit, but the massive news of the week is Bumrah not playing the first couple of games of the IPL at least. So we'll get into that. Let's just close out
Sorry,
the
Anish,
IPL.
I genuinely thought you were saying, oh, we need replacement for RCB. नहीं भाई, एक ही तो अच्छा content team है. Why do you want to replace RCB?
Exactly भाई, RCB गया तो IPL भी जाएगा साथ में, मैं बता रहा.
ऐसा मत करो यार.
Okay, fine. 1 second. So we understood where Rohit Sharma wants to be with regards to ODI cricket.
Yeah.
So let's just close up with this chat with regards to the 2027 ODI World Cup. How many survivors will be there from this Champions Trophy squad? So Rohit Sharma not retiring. I'm guessing Virat's not retiring as well. So honestly, you guys tell me, even in the chat, and Akshay and Nikhil, who plays that 2027 World Cup? Let's just have a fun exercise and see how many we can name. So Nikhil, you start in terms of just people you think should play that World Cup.
I think let's just go batting order wise. No, we can just name the 15 and just say yes or no. So Shubman Gill, yes.
Yeah.
Rohit Sharma, maybe.
मैं no ही जा रहा because
what is the maybe for you all? What is the maybe? The maybe is that he won't get enough game time in this format, or he'll just need the IPL to kind of work his way through to 2027.
Yeah, fitness, age, all of that should or will probably catch up with him. You know, he'll be what, 40 by then, 40. He'd have turned 40 in 2027 April. So that's a tad too old, yeah. I mean, you have so many good players, so many good options. There's Yashasvi Jaiswal, there's so many names coming up. So I don't see any reason why Rohit Sharma will sort of, end up staying till that. Again, I might be wrong if he manages to sort of, hold on to his form and everything. So you never know. I might have to sort of renege on that. But as things stand, I would want to believe that'll be too much. बहुत ज़्यादा time abhi, so I'll go with Jaiswal personally.
Yeah, because even if you look at all the players who didn't play this Champions Trophy, India just have incredible talent. Like Bumrah didn't play, Jaiswal didn't play, Pant was on the bench, Sanju didn't even get a mere mention. We have people like Abhishek Sharma just waiting to come into the white ball setup as well. Harshit Rana, great guy to just have in the bench. Arshdeep, like I mentioned, Ravi Bishnoi is not in the squad. So we just have players who we can just throw in there. So let's go back to that chat. So Nikhil and Akshay and me, to a certain extent, that Rohit may be in the 2027 World Cup, depending on his fitness and how time flies, so to speak, for him. Asim Hans, meanwhile, saying Rohit Sharma is a no-go for him in the ODI World Cup. His fitness is a concern as well as erratic batting approach. He's just too inconsistent. The only thing worries me that is Rohit's performance in South Africa. He has a fantastic ODI record in Australia and England, but his ODI record in South Africa is terrible. I hope he will come good if he plays the ODI World Cup. And Deepak saying, I think Shami will play. I think Shami recovery or injury concern not playing. Okay. Greg K saying, since Rohit said he's retiring, he's making intentions clear about wanting to play 2027 ODI World Cup. I think he likes this format. Even yesterday in the press conference, guys, he was just comparing this trophy sitting next to him compared to the one that he missed out in 2023. Do you think that's something that Virat and Rohit are desperate to get off their back? Oh, desperate's a too negative word, but they just want that. So do you see it like that, Nick?
I think every Indian legend has wanted that, no? Very, very desperately. You can think of so many names there. Even MS clearly wanted it too much, which is why I played the 2019 one. So I won't rule it out, but I just feel it's a long way off. 2.5 years is way long too off. And you don't know. And this is something that you can't even guarantee. Even with Virat, I feel he will want to play and he's fit enough and will feel okay if he maintains the fitness, maybe he'll get there. But the point is, when you are at that age, it is easier to lose form and very hard to regain it. And especially when you are in a country where you have so many people waiting to grab. I'm not saying we already have a replacement ready for both of these, but then you'll have to start. Someday you'll have to start that transition. So I think it is debatable with both of them. I think with Rohit, I feel he may take a call next year. With Virat also, I think he'll take a call next year only. I think this is too early. They are too happy today to think about so long, and which is fair also. I don't think anybody is asking it of them. And the good thing is India play a lot of ODIs. So maybe it is a call that they'll take on the fly, because I personally don't think they should both go together. I think they need to phase this out, and then that might be better for Indian cricket that way also.
Yeah, I think you're right, because look, why would they want to just take a call right now when they're basking in euphoria, so to speak? So they'll wait for the dust to settle, and then they'll probably just take a right call in seeing the FTP, where they have to travel to play ODI cricket, because they obviously aren't playing T20 internationals, and now it's almost become like separate formats. So going forward as well, whether ODI has become a dedicated thing for Virat and Rohit, and say some of the other guys, only time will tell. Deepak saying if Virat can play spin well in bilateral series, then he can think of playing the 2027. Thank you for that point. Rohit in the 2027 ODI World Cup is an opener.
Just ask.
Yeah, no, Abhi, it just changed though. I mean, if you see the SA20, you hardly see spin not being into the game. So I think that is also played a part. So because
but
I think
I would not have either of them.
No, but someone brought up Rohit's numbers in South Africa, but if we have to bring up Virat's numbers in South Africa and ODIs, I think it's the best ever in terms of minimum 1,000 runs or whatever that he scored there.
But again, 39. And Nikhil, आप भी कुछ कह रहे थे ना before we move on.
मैं सिर्फ ये बोल रहा था कि the debate is only for these two guys, because I don't think 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 में or even 9 में कुछ ऐसा है where you debate के oh they may not play. So I think after these two, the only person we should name is who do we feel कि नहीं खेलेगा. So in that order, I feel it's just Shami who may not play, and even Jadeja for that matter. So I just feel these two guys may not play that well.
Jadeja तो definitely नहीं होगा.
Yeah, I mean, in the interest of time, I think Nick's hit the nail on the head there. If it's anyone, it's only Shami, maybe a question mark, and maybe Jadeja. But Jadeja also, you have an automatic replacement in Akshar. Maybe some would say even an upgrade on Jadeja, even though Jadeja gives you so much, is a bona fide batter, 8 and all of that. There is, of course, another comment coming through, and we will take it from Alan James saying, if Rohit works in his fitness at a whole other level, only then does he justify a spot. No, VK has higher ceiling than Rohit right now, but there is a lot of time. I think even Ravi Shastri said this in one of the Champions Trophy shows, saying that India have always made an exception for 1 or 2 exceptional cricketers who have maybe problems with their fitness, but they can get the go-ahead because they're just game changers in their day. So I don't know whether he's hinting on players like Rohit. Aditya Bhatt randomly asking, Rohit best white ball captain after Dhoni. Dhoni's number 1 for me still. And not just because he won the 2011 World Cup, but even if Rohit won the 2023 ODI World Cup, I would still say Dhoni's slightly better, because I'm not being biased here. Akshay, how do you view it? Assume Rohit won the 2023 ODI World Cup. Would you place him above Dhoni? Not really, right? Because Dhoni had that peak where he just won everything in 6 years.
It's not about, again, for me, I agree with Gurkirat. Gurkirat has always spoken about this, and I also agree. Unfortunately, in India, captaincy is, rated based on results. That's not how it should be. It's not just about the results. Sure, everyone's working towards it. It's about in-game. Tum kya karo? How are you leading your players? How are you, taking calls, and how are you handling pressure? It's things like these that matter to me a lot more than just trophies. Even at the end of the day, a captain is also just one player. This is a team-driven sport, not a player-driven sport. So it'll take a lot. It'll take a lot for someone to go above Dhoni for me as India's best white ball skipper ever.
Yeah, same. And I'm pretty sure Nick echoes the similar thoughts as well. Not to diminish what Rohit's done, fantastic. You look at the 1 L that he's got in terms of the last 3 ICC tournaments, phenomenal. But Dhoni was also cut from a different cloth, I would feel. Rohit played quite sensibly in an all-important final that matters. Good to great, good to see you. Good evening as well. And Alan James saying, who's your captain in ODIs if Rohit decides to move on? Gill isn't ready for sure. I would probably pick KL Rahul as my next guy to take Indian cricket forward. I don't know whether that'll burden him further. He went on camera yesterday right after the game next to Simon Dool saying, I was shitting myself over there. So you can tell you about the confidence of the man. But who is your pick? If Shubman isn't ready, like Alan's saying, who's it for you next?
I think it's also why I don't want Rohit to go immediately. I want Rohit to ensure that, again, I'm not saying be there till the time the next one is completely ready, but I'm sure they have already earmarked a couple of people. It could be, I feel it is always between Gill and KL. To me, I would side with KL because I don't want to burden Gill, because I feel my expectations of Gill are a lot more. So KL might be your stopgap arrangement, so to speak. Say to the next World Cup, we'll lead up to this guy. And then after that, if you feel you groom both of these guys, because right now vice captain is Gill. but I still feel there is some more. I don't know how to put it, but you still feel Gill. He's there, but he's just not gone there. Now I don't know how to draw that line where he's here, but he's not here. So I feel he'll get there in time, and that could also happen. So keep an eye on these two guys. KL has already led this team in different formats when the first captain has not been there. So I think I would want to, if you want to go safer route, then I think KL is a safer option. If you want to groom Gill, I would want Rohit to be there. Maybe don't be the captain. Let Gill be the captain, and then get along like how MS did with Virat. That ensure a successful transition, because that's what India missed the last time. You don't want that to repeat. So I hope that is also taken care of.
It could be a two-horse race for the captaincy after Rohit goes away from this format. And Gill and KL are two contenders. And when I say two horses, one's almost like a pony in Gill, who needs milk and honey and nourishment. And one's a full-blown horse, but lacking that confidence that KL, you just need an injection of, a dose of something. But look, appreciate all the comments coming through and good points mentioned by Nick there as well. Rohit Sharma should step aside, saying Ankar Biswas. Asim Khan saying we need to start grooming potential replacements from this year itself, so that if the seniors form does fall off a cliff, we have someone to come in. That's something what Virat Kohli was reiterating in the post-match setup, the fact that this team is so good that they can pass the baton to the next generation and they'll be in good stead for the next 8 to 9 years. Freaking awesome, saying Akshay. Jadeja may not survive until the 2027 World Cup because most likely India will play maximum 2 spinners in the playing 11 in South Africa. Conditions doesn't matter, like you pointed out. And Ankar also saying, for me, Jadeja is bowling better than Akshar. Jadeja has been fantastic, but I think you have ready-made replacements. Nishant Tomar is pointing that out as well. And Sari Saha saying the choice between Jadeja and Akshar depends on what you want for number 5 or number 8.
Just one thing to add there. I don't think it is Jadeja versus Akshar. Right now, both are playing completely different roles. It's never, even right now, I don't think it's Jadeja versus Akshar. मतलब Akshar number 5 बन गया भाई. अभी वो India का number 5 batter है, वो also bowls. And Jadeja is the quintessential all-rounder who will be expected to chip in with the bat and the ball whenever necessary. Secondly, Jadeja is going to be 41. 86 का है भाई वो. मतलब 1986 में पैदा हुआ है, 41 का है यार. मतलब again, like, why do we have to hold on to our old horses when we have youngsters coming in doing well? Itne sare, for all you know, Harsh Dubey might become a household name by the time 2027 World Cup happens. We're still 3 IPL seasons away, and the reason I go by the IPL route is that's typically how Team India has been picking their players of late. Apologies, 88, so 13.
The thing is, 3 years ago, Akshay has flown by in some sense, right? No one thought that, okay, Jadeja, Rohit, Virat could be playing the Champions Trophy. It would have probably been a shot in the dark, but it's happened. And now they're thinking about playing 2027. So sometimes, every time as a cricket fan, you think these guys won't last for the next couple of years. And boom, there we have it. They're playing the next tournament. So won't it be just like that? I appreciate the fact that you've spotted out 41 as an age. But when will they look past him?
And correction, apologies, they have corrected me. It's 39, not 41. But even then, 39 is not very young, right? 39 be old here. And you have to look past him right now. Right now. You look past him not look past him. You've got to start grooming in or bringing in newer talents right now. So that maybe by the end of next year, when there's a year left for the main event, you are ready and you know कि भाई कौन कहाँ पे रहेगा and किसको हम खिला सकते हैं. So you never know who could be the right name for that. So I think now's the best time for a transition. And you can see what kind of options we have. We have enough, slow left armers in the country. And to be honest, you don't even have to look at slow left armers necessarily. Akshar Patel already hai. You can potentially look at an off-spinning all-rounder like a Parag maybe or someone else. So, hai yaar, options are bas dekhna hai abhi bas.
See, all I'm saying is sometimes, or rather in every sport, players get picked in 4 main things: form, fitness, skill set, and experience, right? Sometimes in Indian cricket, form goes out of the window. Fitness comes into play, experience comes into play, and skill sets comes into play. Because if you actually had to be very honest with yourself, barring the ODI format, the test format, people are being picked basically with experience and how fit they are, right? I don't want to name names, but if you guys can read between the lines, you guys know. So I generally think even come the 2027 World Cup, they will pick according to fitness more than form, experience as well. And sure, they'll have some informed players, but those informed players will be youngsters more often than not. It probably won't be oldies. Ruben, welcome to the show. He goes on to say, boys, India is dominant in white ball cricket with 2 trophies within a few months, but to be the best cricket team, they have to start winning test series in saner countries and win the WTC in 2027. I think, look, that's the epitome in terms of being a cricket team. Even if you ask Ravi Shastri and Virat Kohli when they were taking over that Indian test team, the WTC would have just been the cherry on the cake. It wasn't a B, and India was probably the best test team in those 4-5 years. So that, even from a fan perspective, I want the WTC to be priority for India, but people might view it differently. So appreciate your comment, Ruben. And do you guys agree with that really quickly? I mean, the WTC defines you. I mean, in a white ball sense, India have anyway won a lot, but now that's the next thing that India should really, really look to get off their back. Next.
But more than WTC, I just want to win away in Australia and England. I think that is to me paramount. WTC will happen as a byproduct of that if it has to happen. Just on the selection part, I'm very glad you did not mention franchise, because fitness, form, experience, but good you did not mention franchise.
Yeah, I mean, I know sometimes some captains have had their say, and you can clearly kind of draw the all right. Or is it just Dhoni, Kohli, Rohit? Let's be fair. Because even with Dhoni, but you understood why Dhoni was getting those guys into the setup, right? Like at that point in time as well. And more often than not, he got it right. With Virat, I think his best sort of pupils have probably been Chahal and Siraj. People would argue and say, oh yeah, he got people like Shivam Dubey into the system and all of that stuff. But like, I don't know. And with Rohit, of course, there's names to think. Akshay, what's your take on that? Do you think the franchise plays a huge...
It plays, but again, it's not entirely wrong. You can't just sort of say कि ये गलत है. जैसे हमने coaches की बात की थी, last year there was a lot of debate around why is Gautam Gambhir bringing this guy. अरे Ryan Tendulkar ने क्या किया अपनी life में? अरे Moni Mokul कौन है? अरे कोहली को अभी जाके अभिषेक नायर बताएगा batting कैसे करना है? It doesn't work that way. You basically want a setup that you're comfortable playing with. You basically want players around you जिनको आप पे भरोसा है, जिन पे आपको भरोसा है. That is equally important. Or rather, I would probably say that is more important than the player's skill itself. Because at the end, like I said, skill is one part. There's a lot more that goes on in the sport of cricket, especially on the field. And like with most other sports, it's not just down to skill. If it was just down to skill, then we should have had the 11 most skillful players playing for Team India right now. It won't work that way for a reason, and it's not entirely wrong. So थोड़ा अपने को वहां पे जज करना पड़ेगा, because Rohit had seen Bumrah closely. He knew he probably had a better idea of ये अच्छा है, तो उसने शायद धोनी को बोला होगा और धोनी ने देखा होगा. It's happened. Chahal को, I mean, Kohli was comfortable playing with Chahal because he knew Chahal had that in him to take the risk, to flight the deliveries or whatever. Like just throwing down examples, like Avnish said. So it's not entirely wrong, but that's always going to be the case. Say what you mean.
Okay, we'll talk about the IPL in just a bit, guys. Let's just close out this chat with some comments coming through. Some with K saying Sai Sudarshan Jaiswal coming for Roku. And that's another good question. All you guys are asking, I think Aditya Bhatt also asked this in the chat, saying, who is your perfect replacement for Roku? Because when we were looking at that New Zealand-India 2000 final with Saurav and Sachin really kind of going hammer and tongs, no one at that point in time thought there'll be a Rohit and Virat, right? Similarly, everyone thought Saurav and Sachin is just the life right now, so on and so forth, and someone will definitely take the baton over. So if you guys just had to pick 2 names, and it's very wrong to kind of fill shoes or whatever, but 2 names, who do you think will just take Indian cricket forward? Quick answers, and then we'll move on to best of the rest. Next, you first.
Jaiswal Sudarshan. I'm sorry, I'll just go first.
Jaiswal Sudarshan, he's off first, okay? Next.
Yeah, my answer is the same, nothing difference.
Okay, love it. Jaiswal Sudarshan. I want to say, how old is Sanju? Can I throw Sanju in there? Like, I just think after Robo goes, Sanju will get like 5 years more and he'll kill it in those times. But maybe it could be slightly late. I would say Jaiswal and Gill. I think Gill and Jaiswal both are phenomenal. And I think Gill, he'll start showing his credentials even more. New MRF deal and all that stuff. So who knows? All the MRF players have kind of done well, right? There's Gambhir, Kohli, Steve Waugh, Brian Lara, A.V. de Villiers. So he can't fail in that illustrious list, I think. Anyway, enough of my fluff. Let's move on to best of the rest. Raj Chakrabarti saying, in my opinion, Jadeja is very good in terms of bowling. Shouldn't be hurry in terms of moving him on. What pleased me most about yesterday's match was wherever the run rate except 6 per over, big shot came to release the pressure. That was excellent to see, saying quick info. And Akshar won't be in the number 5 in the 2027 South Africa World Cup, reckons unknown. Good shot from you. And AJ Ragnarok saying, let's be honest, that Rohit is thinking of playing the 2027 World Cup, so he does consider 2027 WTC as well. Again, good stuff that all you guys are mentioning. And Vedang, Arika, Nitin Muthuraman, great questions you guys have like this, which I will answer in the 12th man. But we'll have to move on to talk about some IPL stuff with you boys only in Best of the Day. Let's move on and let's get the IPL chat started in Best of the Day. Right, we will start with Harry Brook. We'll come to Bumrah and all that injury sort of nitty-gritties in terms of when he'll play and which fixture. MI would probably most likely look at Bumrah playing for them this season. But Harry Brook and his potential ban could be looming. Now, the reason I say that is because we all know the rules as fans when the BCCI put it out saying, look, if you literally want to pull out of the IPL and if it's not an injury, and if it's not anything to do with a personal sort of problem, then you're going to be planning a suspension going forward in the tournament. Now, Brook came out on Instagram and cleared the air saying, listen, I've always focused putting my country first. That's what I've dreamt to do. And with rumors of him getting the white ball captaincy, you never know how it's going to take a toll. Last time he pulled out because I think it was unfortunate, the death of his grandmother, and completely, we're all human beings, so we'll understand that. But now, let's play devil's advocate. Is Brook going to be banned? Akshay, I'll start with you, sure. And does a franchise have to pay a fine? How does it work?
The franchise, of course, will not have to pay any fine. Unki kya galti hai? But will he be banned? I don't think it will be as straightforward as ki abhi ban lag jayega uspe. I'm guessing there'll be some sort of a committee that will review this, that will probably have a discussion with the stakeholders involved, maybe a franchise official, Harry Brook, and maybe even ECB potentially also lobbying for him कि भाई हमारा कप्तान बनने वाला है, थोड़ा इसको मतलब कर दो यार, help कर दो, and whatever, help as in don't ban him, he'll come in next year. I don't think it'll be as straightforward as कि कल को BCCI भेजेगा notice कि Harry Brook has been banned from 2 years of IPL. There'll be a bit of back and forth. There'll be some sort of a review of the situation. If the genuinity of it is determined by the committee ki haan boss, theek hai, this is a very genuine reason, then yeah, they might, for all forego the ban and say, okay, you know what, it's all right, it's fine. But coming to Delhi Capitals, though, they'll feel extremely hard done by because he was going to start for them. He was going to be a starting 11 member, which means that now they will have to plug a huge gap. And I don't know if there are enough options available in their squad right now in terms of backups or outside, jinko wo dekh sakte hain. So that's my 2 cents on it. But I don't think it'll be कि अभी कल notice आएगा अपने कोच के बारे में.
So it definitely leaves a sour taste in the mouth of Delhi Capitals because pretty much a fortnight before their first game, Harry Brook is pulled out. So you don't even have time to find a replacement player. I don't know how big he's part of their plans. And knowing Delhi Capitals have really upgraded their squad this year, I don't know whether he'll be missed or not. Meanwhile, RC24 edit saying, MI ka batao, I will give you the update, buddy. I will. Don't spam the chat. Please respect the others as well. And 100% come back to you for sure. Sarvanan saying, if Brook want to be banned, then no point in releasing the rules. Vedang saying Harry Crook. Nix, how do you see it? I mean, with regards to this whole Harry Brook news, when it kind of trickled through last night, were you thinking, yeah, ye English ki bakchodi hai and Jason Roy's done this before, but now technically they can't get away with it. So is it fine? Is it not fine? How do you view it?
Yeah, I think the first thing that I wanted to know was why. Because again, last year, you don't want to jump the gun there. So I think it was, I waited to hear out that what was his side. When he said that he wanted to focus on England duty, fair, completely fair. But if you did not, again, you can say that, okay, he did not know that Butler was going to resign and maybe he would get the captaincy. But then I just feel that is, and this event also happening is too late for all of this to be happening. That if you, I mean, at this point of time, if you pull out of a very crucial event a week prior, I just feel it's very unprofessional as compared to having a personal injury or something that you want to take care of. So that I feel is understandable that, okay, there is an injury that you want. See, which may happen with Star. It can happen with others that, there is an injury, there is a WTC coming, so you're backing out for that. But if you're going to back out to play more for a country, please go ahead and do so. As a franchise, I would not then want to back somebody who's who probably feels that I'm not priority. So to me, I'll just look at simply, ke, "ठीक है, you are not my priority. Then you should also not be priority for us. That okay, you can continue play for England, you can become the greatest player for England to leave, but maybe we'll not now try and take a point on you that because next time we don't know if you will come through. So it could be anything. So I think it is fair on Brook's part that he feels ke uske liye England ज़्यादा important है. So fair, you don't need IPL, the IPL doesn't need you. It's as straightforward then. And I wouldn't, again, I'm not quite sure if I want a ban or not, but I just feel as a franchise, you would be very hurt that you're losing out on someone who was a definite starter. Now, to lose out on a guy who was likely to be on the bench, you see, okay, maybe we can replace him. Brook, and again, it's the same franchise. So maybe it just feels if it wasn't that important. Okay, I mean, I think too many uncontrollables have come into his way. But as a franchise, I would want to now stay away. And I think every franchise will want to stay away. Okay, this can happen again because it's already happened once.
Yeah, look, with Harry Brook, he risks a 2-year ban, and that's the debate right now. And I think even Nasser Hussain mentioned it yesterday when he was speaking to Sky Sports, saying potentially, if you look at the schedule, that's probably what scared Harry the most, because you have England, India, a massive 5-test series. You have the Ashes there, and you have other tournaments which will always kind of supersede the IPL in the ECB's eyes. So maybe they've pulled him out. Maybe it's pretty much giving him more responsibilities in terms of a batter, future captain, so on and so forth. Sarvana asking, what do you guys think of a Mulder as replacement for Harry Brook? We can only speculate who will come in.
This is
Mulder is replacing Adam Kars.
Pardon. So Kars went down injured, and then Mulder basically came in for SRH. Greg K saying English players have a habit of pulling out the IPL if they don't get big wages. Simhan saying England play next on the 22nd of May in a 4-day test versus Zimbabwe, and the IPL final is on May 25th. Is there an overlap? He does just need mental rest. Could DC exempt him loosely following the medical condition rule? I mean, he wouldn't want to play the tournament, so that just goes without saying. And Damodar Banla saying whether the reason is good or bad, this close to the IPL and not play for the team is unprofessional, and the IPL community needs to make harsh calls for not happening this kind of a chodi. And I think it comes down to setting a precedent. Use this opportunity now as a BCCI. Too bad, Brook, you burnt your fingers. Last year, obviously, it was personal, so they can't let you off the hook. But this time, I don't think they will be so kind. I'm 100 and agreeing with Nick's here, saying Damodar Banla. AJ Ragnarok saying Brook, just arrogant and lazy. He doesn't value IPL experience. 10 months later, he'll see how well he's focused on national team duties. And Aspit say Akshay Bhai as an RCB fan should be worried about links and Salt's form. We'll answer that in a bit, Aspit. And freaking awesome saying if Maxwell will be dismissed for not, it'll be his 19th duck in the IPL. Random stat throwing by freaking awesome, but he loves throwing out stats like that. This was a question just to close up the book chat. Will it be a like-to-like replacement for Brook?
You will have to probably look at someone who can slot in at number 6. I know online there were a few people who were talking about how probably they can bring in Faf and go for an Indian option in the middle order, but I think that would be a bit too extreme. There'll be too many changes happening there. They would be better off first trying to see if they can find a decent enough number 6 option there. Some of the names mentioned here, George Linda is actually not a bad shout at all. Number 6 pe bat kar sakta hai. I had him at number 6 in my DC first 11. Stubbs at 5. I had Akshar at 7. Thoda niche, but matlab abhi because you have
Brevis is a Brook replacement.
Brevis, bad. I know. In my case, he sort of came in the middle order and did well in the SA20 this time around, but it's hard, man. It's too big a risk because he's not.
What about someone like Nix's Toy Dridoy for Brook?
I thought you were going for Nix's Sikandar Raza. Sikandar Raza, thoda wo connection bhi like someone mentioned, Dubai Capitals ke liye bhi khele, so not a bad shout. Michael Bracewell was another name I was thinking of, Aditya, but mentioning it.
Kyle Mears.
Number 6 pe Kyle Mears ko kyun khilaoge bhai? Are you bringing it up because I told?
Yeah. So he goes to DC, doesn't come back to RCB at all.
Oh, bhai.
It will be Nile.
It will be who?
It will be invariably Gulbadin Nile.
Oh my word! Oh, yeah.
I think with Brevis, my point was if I want to play Brevis, I would rather play Sami Rizvi and use that option to get a overseas batter in. And again, this is not to make a case for Nayak. I ideally personally would have wanted somebody like a Raza or Bracewell only, because somebody who can bowl. So Tawhid Uday as a batter, lovely. I've always been Hriday FC. But if I want an option as a off spinner, because if you look at that squad, I can't see an off spinner in that squad. So we have a bench pair. I mean, Donovan Ferreira can bowl off spin, but I would want one of such option who can bat and bat at the back end. So I think if I have a back well, Stubbs, Bracewell, Ashutosh Aksar, it's a fairly good option to have. And again, if they go with Brevis, I'm fine with that. I just feel एक ही team में Jake or Brevis होना, you'll have to use them very, very well, because I don't know if they'll start with Jake. If they start with Faf, maybe there is a room to get Brevis as well, क्योंकि then कहीं से थोड़ा stability you will want to have.
Okay.
Just one thing.
Mitch Owen
Yeah,
being thrown in his name there. BBL man.
Interesting.
They already have. They already have a lot of openers.
Also, correction on my part, I thought I had Brook at 6. I've slated Brook at number 4. So my 11 for DC was Rahul, JFM, Perel at number 3, Brook
Right.
number 4, Stubbs number 5, Patel number 6, Akshar number 6, Ashutosh number 7, Manmant Kumar 8, Stark 9, Kuldeep 10, Mukesh Kumar 11, Impact Natarajan. So number 4 के लिए अगर वो किसी को देख रहे हैं, then yeah, Brevis still stands a chance, realm of possibility है. मतलब number 6 से तो number 4 is definitely a much better fit. But Bracewell ये सब के लिए probably a position too high. Bracewell हो, George Linde हो, उनके लिए भी. Raza isn't actually too bad a shout, like Nikhil bhai mentioned, थोड़ा off spin भी दे सकते हैं. Slightly left field shout since they've already gone for Shai Hope before. Do you think someone like maybe a Roston Chase is worth considering? Because I personally like
I
his
love Roston Chase, but then Bracewell, यार एक lefty भी मिल जाएगा तुमको, and a guy who can hit pace very, very well. क्योंकि in that lower order there is nobody who, see, Ashutosh can hit pace, but Akshar Patel also at times can get found out if you want to hit pace. So I feel that's where something like a Bracewell batting at 6. I would push Stubbs at 4. Give that responsibility to Stubbs. You go ahead and bat at 4. Akshar at 5. You can use Ashutosh as a floater that way. So I feel getting off spinning, you can use them as per matchups and requirements. So I feel
Bracewell also, I think Bracewell also has a PSL contract right now.
Yeah, he does. Bracewell has a PSL.
He probably have to do what Corbin Walsh does, which is just choose the PSL. I mean, I think IPL over PSL, which is crazy. But DC, Akshay, have we heard who's going to be the next captain? Because they're the only team, and even Ankar Biswas is asking this. Will it be Faf? Will it be KL? Will it be someone else?
Faf तो नहीं है भाई. Faf तो नहीं है. I don't know why will they look past KL, but I don't know. It could be Akshar Patel, hopefully. I know. Nikhil bhai was referring to Akshar. हाँ, confirm. मिल गया सूत्रों के अनुसार. Okay, चलिए.
ये मेरा आरसी वाला रोल KL वाला नहीं है, तो hopefully.
No, but Akshar Patel is a good shout. Akshar Patel is a good shout. I don't know whether they'll free up KL Rahul, the opener, in the IPL more. Tanveer also saying
one more thing before we go. Nikhil bhai, but अगर आपको Bracewell को number 6 पे ही खिलाना है, I personally would prefer George Linde. Like I've liked him a lot more. मतलब personally मेरे को.
What about Blessing Muzurbani?
काहे भाई?
Because Harshit is saying in the chat that they don't have any good new ball pairings.
भाई मतलब
that's his opinion.
That is a very specific requirement. यार सिर्फ नो बॉल के लिए तुम एक ओवरसीज स्पॉट निकाल दोगे क्या सिर्फ न्यू बॉल में डालने के लिए? स्टार कुमार, मुकेश कुमार,
Botman
again is a good shot, but not for this team. They need somebody who can hit. Again, Brook. I don't know Brook spin कितना अच्छा खेलता है. Last I don't see.
का तो देख लिया है.
Exactly. So they need somebody who can tackle spin very well. I think there could be a potential of using Samir Rizvi and then get George Linde. My only worry with George Linde is Kuldeep Yadav, Akshar Patel, George Linde. I don't know if if that franchise will be thinking on that route. I would be happiest if they take him, but it's just usage problem and stereotypes that you have. Bracewell ke saath, that's where I feel that advantage is there. A off spinning guy who can bowl anywhere, can bat and come out and also hit pace for you. So, and again, Raza is also same in that manner. So, can do that job.
Good debate. Rather, Arun agreeing with Akshay there. Keep your comments coming through. Left field choice asking Neural Hacks person. Mark Chapman, be fantastic. And there's another shout with regards to this man who I think plays for the Victoria Cap.
No, Chennai, na JSK, na.
JSK played for
JSK.
JSK.
JSK, sorry. So good shouts again from the chat. It tells me that you guys are very, very knowledgeable, and I never doubted that one bit. Let's move on to the Mumbai Indians news because
Sorry, random. Shouldn't be Riley Russo, right? Surely won't be Riley Russo.
No, Riley Russo was bought by someone, right? Did he go unsold? Oh, no. Went unsold.
And Shea Hope is also bought, right?
Unsold. No, unsold.
So then Delhi might get him back. I don't know.
You never know.
Oh my God. You never know. Which team is going to get Luan de Pretorius as a replacement? He played some sublime shots in the SA20. Whoever gets him, I mean, again, it's a punt, but the IPL is just like the Premier League, bro. You don't bring in exports from like the French league or whatever. You know what I mean? Like football terms. Sarvanan saying no need of brainstorming. They will pick someone from Dubai Capitals. Hemam Badani's coach. And Vijay Bharadwaj will also have something to say.
All this discussion is waste. It will be Popeye man.
Okay, fine. Cool. Is Corbin Bosch a good replacement for MI or bad? Rated, saying RC24 edit. Now, RC24 edit earlier also wanted us to give him some sort of Mumbai chat with regards to Bumrah. So, Akshay, what is the news from the MI camp? And how many games will Bumrah miss? The first two. So, he'll miss the El Clasico against CSK. And then I think he'll miss the RCB game. When do they play RCB?
No, it's 5 games. It's first 5 games tentatively. Basically, first couple of weeks, Jampe, they play 5 games. And that includes the RCB game because MI RCB is the 5th game. But knowing RCB's luck and everything, वो 5th game के लिए ही ready हो जाएगा. He'll be ready 1 game in advance. आएगा 5 पर 10 पर उठाने RCB के सामने. But jokes apart, he's tentatively expected to miss the first few weeks of IPL, and it's slated at 2 weeks, which means they're playing 5 games in the first couple of weeks that he could potentially miss out on, which includes MI CSK, MI GT, MI RCB, and I'm forgetting which are the other 2 games. But yeah, this is what it looks like as things stand.
Okay, because it'll be an absolute, I don't know what to say with regards
near
to
miss that.
a blow.
Near miss.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, technically, they already have Deepak Chahar in bold, so they don't miss Bumrah in terms of the new ball, and they just need to find maybe a good death over specialist, which is very rare to find sometimes. Sanam 18 going on to say, भाई लोग IPL का opening match का tickets मिल गया, आ जाओ कोलकाता एक साथ देखेंगे. Love from West Bengal. Amazing. Give it us, and we'll get in touch with you after.
बस flight ticket भी भेजो, हम 100% आ जाएंगे. आई शपथ.
Perfect. Going back to the Mumbai Indians chat, Atyavad Singh, Arjun Tendulkar time, and Ankit Viswas saying Nita Babi let Boom rest and prepare for the England series. If, dare I say, Bumrah is, I don't know, ruled out, who is their replacement for Bumrah? Is there any replacement, Indian-wise, bowler?
Yeah, there's this person, Lord Ganesh. उनको बुलाना पड़ेगा नीचे. संकट मोचन ये सब और कोई नहीं है. क्या ऐसे मजाक में बुमराह का रिप्लेसमेंट पूछ रहे हो जैसे रास्ते में वेट कर रहे. हाँ, if Bumrah is gone,
how do they fill in that void? How do they fill in their void? So tell me in terms of team dynamics. In terms of team dynamics, how do they fill in that void?
They can never fill in that void. They can have an 11th player in the team, sure, playing 11 को fill कर सकते हो, but no filling the void and all.
So all the other players that they have in their setup, so they have players like Mujib. They have obviously other
names.
Exactly.
This time, my concern now is it's too like they've gone too funky. Abhi with Gazanfar also missing out, Mujib, Bosch, Bevin Jacobs, and Ryan Beckleton. That's 4 players that you just don't know are they IPL material right now or not. मतलब बिल्कुल ही आइडिया नहीं. मुजीब का तो अभी पता है भाई कि जो है सिर्फ बॉलिंग में अगर कर दिया तो ठीक, नहीं तो फील्डिंग में तो जानते ही हैं सब. So, and then you add someone like a Will Jacks. Do they go to him or not? Do they start with someone like a Robin Mings even? So they have 5 Indian superstars, one of whom is confirmed to miss at least a couple of weeks. That leaves us with Sky, Pandya, Tilak and Rohit, of which again Rohit T20 form हमें पता है. Sky will be entering the IPL on not the greatest of T20 form, to say the least. Hardik Pandya
So
and
one
Tilak
second, Random question, but right now, as you look at it, who are the 4 foreigners for MI in their starting game against CSK? I would say Santner starts. I would say Rickleton starts. I would also probably put in.
Bolt to hai.
I'm
Bolt
putting Will Jackson and Bolt.
and Trent Bolt.
अरे Jacks और Rickleton दोनों.
Jacks and Rickleton, bro. I would put Jacks one down, Rickleton open with Rohit.
Yeah.
Interesting. मैं
And
दोनों
then
को
you have
तो नहीं
Tilak, Sky, Hardik, bro. Look at that. They can bat.
Sky has to come in at number 3 though, yaar. Why would you display Sky of his number 3 position? मतलब he is the incumbent. You can't sort of drop Sky, to number 4. I think if they're going, like, it'll be Will Jacks / Rickleton. I don't see both of them playing. Should they go to Jacks, then I guess they might have to bring in someone like a Robin Mins because
Robin
keeping
Mins.
exactly. If they go to Rickleton, will have to start, to be honest. He will have to start. They don't have too many spinners. Like they were, banking a lot on someone like a Gazanfar coming good. Now, this means Santner is the only solid spin option they have. Like, one second, let me just get their squad
Devin
out.
Jacobs.
नहीं भाई कीपर है मतलब for what is what कीपर बैट है तो
Okay, fair. Meanwhile, till Akshay finds that out, randomly, Namandir is there. We'll be happy to see Smaran and DC with Vijay Venugopal and Badani. Thank you for that comment. You'll have
bro, that rumors that Bhandge is injured and Smaran might be replacing him at RCB. Inshallah, let's hope that happens. अगर वो हो जावे तो मजा आ जावे क्योंकि मुझे देखना उसको नंबर.
Santosh Urupa, good to see you in the chat. He says Will Jack, Santner, Bolt. They might go with 3 overseas. And Ishan Jain saying Hardik also going to miss the first game because of previous year.
Oh, that is true. Oh my word.
So, but who's going to captain that particular game? Sky, I think. Even though they want Rohit too, but I think it'll be Sky.
But could be Rohit. We don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, could be Rohit also.
It'll be great. I mean, imagine that'll be his final captaincy gig for Mumbai against
Chennai.
Against Chennai. They could.
Every reason to do.
You never know. Yeah. Somewhere VK saying, no, that's rumor. Manoj has posted his practice video about the whole Smaran replacement.
भाई याद है ना Timol Mills के साथ क्या हुआ था 3 साल पहले मतलब वे अब भी जो है वेट करना पड़ेगा. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying like I agree. Even I saw that video. I know it's just a rumor floated around. बट मेरे को ऐसा एक है मेरा सूत्र जिसने मेरे को बोला ऐसे ही तो अपन ऐसे ही आस लगाए बैठे हैं. Let's hope. We can always hope.
Has there ever been a single season where MI squad didn't look strong? I mean, probably on paper 1 or 2 seasons, but like they've always had big hitters. They've always had great batting depth and bowling options. AJ Ragnarok suggesting that Bevan Jacobs will start. MI always have an unexpected pick in the 11. Also, they're marketing him as the next Pollard. Sky
they marketed him. Sorry, they marketed him as Vasuli Bhai today. So if you have not checked it, please check that video out.
Bevan Jacobs as Vasuli Bhai.
Vasuli Bhai.
Oh, भाई देखना पड़ेगा. By the way, they have Karan Sharma.
Sorry, Karan Sharma.
They have Karan Sharma.
I'm still lost at Bevan Bhai.
Look, I mean, IPL chat is going to be fantastic next week because we'll be 5 days away from the IPL and the next MNL, and we might have an international guest of great repute. He has one of the voices of IPL history, and he might be joining us in terms of partaking in that preview. We will, of course, get all the squads up for you all again in terms of our predictions for the season and everything with regards to the IPL 2025 discussed next MNL. So you have to join us for that because trust me, there's going to be a great guest and me, Nix, and Akshay debating everything, giving you our predictions and all of that stuff. And Sai, I think, just asked us right now, guys, can you predict your top 14? We'll do that next week. Next week, another week of IPL news, and then we'll, of course, point all our predictions out. Raj Kumar Yadav saying, big fan, multiple times, not once, not twice, not thrice, but 4 times or 5 times, how many ever times you want to. Good to great saying, Avnish, when will you get the next international expert on the show? I'm eagerly waiting for you to put me on with experts, bro. No disappointments this time around. He's still not forgiven me after that Swanee bit, but we'll definitely get your questions answered by the next one for sure. Right, before we wrap up the IPL chat, one question that the chat had for Akshay, I think Asmit asked him, are you worried about Livingston and Phil Salt's form? Be honest. And how do you see them come back into the scheme of things?
If I'm being honest, I did not catch the Champions Trophy just as extensively as I would have if I'd covered it. So, wo ek hai. So that sort of helps me just maintain my sanity. Second, यार अलग format है, conditions भी थोड़ा बहुत अलग है. Small venue, Chinnaswamy, you would back them to come good, but sure, I mean there would be a bit of concern, but you know that they're going to start for you, so there's no point being concerned about it. So I would still say कि concern वाली चीज तो नहीं है. You just have to hope and back them to come good for you guys, क्योंकि they are anyways going to start. And yeah, चिन्नस्वामी भाई 50-60 मीटर के बाउंड्रीज पे अगर तुम इतना मसल बना के सब करके क्लियर नहीं कर पाए, you don't need form to do well at the Chinnaswamy. That's all I'm saying. You just need good levers, you need long handles, you should be able to clear it. So I'm still not so concerned. Maybe closer to the season.
Bro, I'm the most optimistic man on the planet, and you can't negate form, bro. Just because you're playing in a very small stadium, they still have to get a muddle out of the head.
I haven't seen enough of the. I don't know how have they been dismissed. I don't know if there's a pattern there. I don't know if there's a certain weakness that's being exploited by bowlers, or if it's the conditions. What was the match?
But I think he's still perturbed by that line. You don't need form to do well at Chinnaswamy. That's what the line that got out.
I'd still say IPL में Chinnaswamy में अच्छा करने के लिए you don't necessarily need form.
Okay, that's a big call. I slightly disagree over there. But
IPL बोला भाई, IPL में चिन्नस्वामी में अच्छा करने के पुअर मंथना बोल के ऐसा क्या? अवनीश मेरे को बस के नीचे डालता, आप मत डालिए.
1 second. So you believe that Salt and Livingston will come good? Look, the two stats giving me confidence is that Phil Salt is probably the best T20 opener in the last couple of years. So I hope he lives up to the billing. I hope he also kind of enjoys batting with the people around him. There's some good golf courses for this Englishman to enjoy in Bangalore as well. So all of these few things need to come to the fore. Livingston, like our darling Mo Bobat had to say for RCB, that his good days are really good days. But will those good days even come? Only time will tell. Sai Kumar Yangala saying, are you guys planning again? Fan reactions outside the stadium after the match. I love that. We are. Fan cams, watch-alongs. That's going to be definitely something part of our plans without a shadow of a doubt. Hey, Maga, what's up? Remember that song of RCB?
Oh, yeah, bro.
It's too good. I mean, I want to sing it for you right now, but I might get
exactly same. I almost started singing.
Guys, talk about De Villiers' innings. As an RCB fan, you ought to. I mean, I just saw a scorecard, 101, but 90 runs and just sixes for some Legends game. I'll probably go tune into the highlights at some point in time. And RC24 Edit continuing to say his MI stuff, but we appreciate all you guys coming into the chat in terms of the IPL. But come into the chat next week because 71, the episode, will be IPL 2025 preview, and that'll be something to savor indeed. Right, let's move on from IPL to WPL because RCB's title defense was shit, and let's call it for what it was, Akshay. How the hell have they capitulated? But more importantly, now, is there a clear winner? And are we hoping for a different winner? I'm hoping Bro Delhi win it. So it'll be MI, RCB, and now DC. And then next year, UP Warriors. And then after that, Gujarat Giants. So the first 5 years, it would have different winners. Do you guys agree with me?
100% goes without saying. We all want to see new winners come about, but I would still say no clear winner as such. Gujarat seems to be in great form. They won their last 3 games. Delhi Capitals have slowly started gaining momentum and all of that. Mumbai Indians is Mumbai Indians. To pata hai wahan pe. Coming to RCB though, yaar, again, matlab season shuru hone se pehle we knew that this season was going to be difficult even before it began with 5 injuries, and our bowling has panned out almost as expected. Like if you look at batting numbers team-wise, RCB has been the best batting side by a margin. At least Perry had a big role in that, of course, but there were knocks from Richa Ghosh. There were some odd contributions from a few other batters. So that definitely helped their case. But at the same time, they were also the worst bowling side by a margin. The only side to concede over 9 runs per over across the season. That was ab tum 3 main bowler ko miss kar rahe ho, bhai, and you've replaced them with whatever's available. That was always going to be the case. So first 2 games probably gave us that false sense of, are they on to something special? But reality check did happen later, and then a couple of those close losses did not really help them. put the team morale down, and then of course, yeah, it's sort of been a downward spiral for them. But yeah, I'm still not just as disappointed, say, as I was in the first season. Because hey, we didn't have the resources. We'll have to be honest to ourselves. So theek hai, for what it's worth. But I was disappointed with Smriti Mandhana for what it's worth. Batting wise, I still expected something. Last game was that one game where she could really answer her critics. Surface bhi acha tha, mahal bhi tha, target bhi tha. She could have really come good for her side, and that dismissal in particular really disappointed me.
Okay, fair. Lots of people asking about Raghavi Bisht and that persistence with RCB's management, giving her the long rope. I mean, when you look at even Meghna, who came in for that last gig of what 27 of 9 or something like that, she played pretty good. But like because RCB were chasing a mammoth target, that's probably the approach she adopted. But let's just hear from Nick's right now in terms of his WPL assessment in the last 1 week and how it's all kind of building up to a crescendo. Nick's. MI, Delhi, they're all kind of flexing their muscle in their own way. But who should win this tournament? Who do you think are the deserved winners so far, if there is a winner tomorrow?
Yeah, it will be very hard to say who should or who deserves, because I think every team has had its flaws and they have been rightly exposed, especially maybe while defending the score, so to speak, in this tournament. So I think it is good that way that the tournament is now it's at a new venue. So different challenges. Lucknow was beyond understanding for me how the surface played in the first game and then in the remaining months. But again, it is what it is. You can't control. Maybe that's good news for the IPL with that surface being high scoring. So I would personally love a new winner. Now whether that is DC, okay, Gujarat, great, because again, always good for the tournament that a side that finished last a couple of seasons back goes on to win. Just tells you how competitive the league is, because hopefully someday UP will wake up, because you can't be so bad for so long. So that is the hope there. And they still managed to beat RCB twice. So I'll take that as a solace. They were so bad, but still they got 2 wins and that super over. I think the one thing from this WPL that will stay with me forever is those 2 super overs of Kim Gart and Sophie Eccleston, because I personally have not seen better bowling than that in a super over in the same. So good on UP to finish that game madly against RCB, because I was with my lady celebrating Women's Day at a restaurant, and then they put on WPL, and then I knew I was going to get a hammering, because I was having the judge of all was scoring runs. But I knew that if I kept staring there would be stares from here. But again, see, my wife is very kind and she allowed me to watch the game while we were also having dinner. So thank you, Sneh Rana, for that scare. But yeah, I think good game to go out for UP. Hopefully, Gigi can do the job.
Yeah, and good initiative from UP. I mean, even though it was a really ridiculous jersey from pink to yellow pants, but like Nick said, both those games that they had against RCB was special in its own way. One for, of course, the super over, the other one for the highest record, and it surely lit up the stadium there in Lucknow. Asim Khan saying watch-alongs plan for the WPL eliminated on Thursday. That is true. There is a lot of good women's content coming out on cricket.com this week. Now, the staple bread and butter women's cricket podcast on Wednesday, so catch Akshay on that. And he's doing a watch-along on Thursday, and of course the final on Saturday as well. So just to, of course, soak up as much as women's Premier League action before the IPL indeed. Couple of questions to Akshay before we move out of the WPL and move into his quiz. Many people saying, why did you persist with Raghavi? That was one question. Noodle Hacks, I think Akshay is bringing back game nights at some point in time. He will tell you more deets in the 12th man section, so wait around for that. And Good to Great also asking Akshay, Gigi making a mess of playing Hemalata as an opener. They can go for full money at 3, and Harleen and Beth opening the innings as they got decent understanding with partnership in the last game. So take this one, because I think you've anyway answered about Raghavi Bisht.
Yeah, about Gigi, I sort of understand where they're coming from. They don't have any backup batter. Squad mein koi batter hai nahi. The only other option they have is probably promoting someone like a Simran Sheikh up top, who herself is the number 4 batter for Mumbai in the domestic circuit. And on top of that, did not really do much in the first few games, which is why they dropped her. Despite paying so much money, they dropped her. So I don't know if they had that confidence in Simran Sheikh, she can come good for them at the top, especially if someone like a Shabnam Ismail is going to be throwing thunderbolts at 120. You don't want someone who has no clue to look out of depth. So that's probably a reason why they, sort of look past her. And apart from that, of course, yeah, Hemlata has been out of form. You don't want to, again, Hurleen did well at number 3. So that does not mean कि उसको promote करना है. उसका मतलब यही कि उसी position में उसको और मौके दो. By no means is promoting the way of looking at things. अगर कोई अच्छा करता है, that means they're good for that position. So let us stick to that. Why do we have to chop and change everything just because one player is out of form? So I agree with it. And today they've promoted Kashmi Gautam as a pinch hitter. It is an interesting choice because she is primarily number 6, number 7 kind of batter even in domestic cricket. And जितना अभी तक देखा है ना, न्यू बॉल के साथ तो उसका टेक्निक नहीं है भाई. She's been consistently beaten. So I just hope she somehow survives the new ball phase, because then we'll be in for some fireworks.
Okay, interesting. Let's see how the WPL really finishes and if it's something to savor for sure. Guys, just a little bit of a news update because we want to have some fun with you guys in the comments. Now, we understand earlier this week, Sri Lankan cricketer Ashad Bandara got arrested for an alleged assault. Now, he was arrested Saturday for assaulting his neighbor following a parking-related issue. He's been granted bail since, and he's expected to appear in court on the 12th of March. Now, this just makes you think about crazy instances in the cricketing world where people have been arrested. And we've, in fact, put out a graphic as well just to showcase all those criminals in terms of cricketers. Just joking, but this is how it looks. If right from Salim Malik, and this is post-millennium, so might be multiple cases before the year turned 2000, but from your Pakistanis to some of the Indian blokes there, and not to forget some other names around the country and, beg your pardon, the world. So, guys, just to ask you all this, not to, of course, deviate from anything, but do you feel if you're arrested as a cricketer, it just tarnishes your career in some way or the other?
Of course. Okay. Why is that? Yeah, it definitely
like
does.
Ben Stokes, for example. Ben Stokes, right? Ben Stokes was arrested, but does it tarnish his career?
I don't think he was arrested. There were there were allegations, and then they addressed it. I don't. Matlab, does it tarnish? It definitely does, and it's not. You don't have to be a cricketer. Any normal civilian, also, if anyone unfortunately gets arrested, it's always going to be a black mark. That's how people look at it. That's how society functions. And cricketers in particular, because in a country like India, where we tend to, put players on a pedestal, we don't need much to throw them off of it. Or अगर कोई jail जाता है तो भाई मतलब we all remember when the spot fixing saga opened up in India in 2013, the way there was a proper witch hunt behind these players, behind IPL, behind it, to a point where I would say till 2017-18, my dad used to say, "Arey, why do you even watch cricket? It's sub fix there." Like that was the extent of it. So it always has a larger impact that sustains or that holds on, that remains in people's minds for a longer period. So that's always going to be the case, especially agar koi cricket related issue raha. Even off the field, we all remember allegations itself are good enough for people to start chattering or chatting ki bhai, what's happening there? Why? What? Is this true? Do you think that's false? So yeah, I mean, of course, that goes without saying.
Yeah, I think even Shakib was nearly arrested, I think, with regards to apparently some murder charges against him, but that wasn't confirmed. Cricket Info saying, guys, not a cricket-related question, just wanted to know the difference between sexual assault and rape charges. I seriously can't understand English. I don't want to get into that, and that's not the best place to discuss this right now, Cricket Info. I hope you know that, just for the sanctity of the show. Right, Sanam 18, you are spamming us, and we like the fact that you're from West Bengal. I like your question. I'll take it in the 12th man segment. But bhai, I don't know how you're helping your case, because the more you spam us, the less we're going to take it. So we will answer that in 10 minutes or so. You try answering this question from Akshay right now, and it's how's that quiz? And that'll be something to savor. Let's move on to how's that. Right, Akshay, a lot of people want to answer questions, but you give them a question to answer. And what was it last week, my friend?
Yep, let's have last week's Howzzat out first. Yep, there we go. Slightly wordy, but Ajinkya Rahane became the second Indian to captain 3 franchises when he was announced as KKR skipper last Sunday. Who is the only other Indian to have been the skipper of 3 or more franchises, rather 3 or more different franchises? So that was the question. The answer, of course, is Shreyas Iyer, who is said to become Kings 11. Oh, why Kings 11 Punjab? Yeah, I mean, shayad maybe past me, Punjab Kings latest skipper, and apart from that, he's previously led Delhi Capitals and, of course, the Kolkata Knight Riders. Ajinkya Rahane, meanwhile, had also captained teams like Kolkata Knight Riders this season, earlier on Rising Pune Super Giants and the Rajasthan Royals, so making them the only two Indians to have led 3 or more IPL franchises. Funnily enough, when it comes to overseas players, it's Kumar Sangakkara, it's Mahela Jayawardene, and C. Smith. I don't think anyone would have guessed these three names. Off the top of your head, when you think of overseas skippers, it's not Kumar Sangakkara you think of, Mahela Jayawardene you think of, but that was interesting, of course. And yeah, a lot of you got it right, but there will always be one lucky winner every episode. And this time around, it is Aseem Hans. Thank you so much for guessing. Of course, Aseem, please do get in touch with us on Twitter, and we will make sure that you get the voucher. Now, coming to this week's Howzzat, of course. Oh, we'll make sure we ask Gurkirat this question. Cricket.com email saying, I answered this question immediately, but I don't expect any rewards. Cricket.com, please do us a favor. You don't have to enter it here. You can, just wait for the live stream to end, and you can win yourself a voucher. It'll also sort of make it that much more curious for the other fans, or for the other viewers. They would also want to try and do a bit of research, try and find out. They also learn a few things in the process, ki con and all of that. So do, if you can, do hold on to your answer, wait for the live stream to end, and key in your answers in the main comment section. Of course, coming to this week's Howzzat though, another wordy question. The first instance of this occurrence was 15 years ago in Sri Lanka. The second and third instances happened 6 years ago in New Zealand and India, respectively. The fourth and final instance happened in the recently concluded Champions Trophy. What rare occurrence is being referred to here? Slightly wordy, just bear with me once again. The first instance of this occurrence was 15 years ago in Sri Lanka. The second and third instances happened 6 years ago in New Zealand and India, respectively. The fourth and final instance happened in the recently concluded Champions Trophy. What rare occurrence is being referred to here? Once again, like always, please wait for the live stream to end. Key in your answers in the main comment section at the end of the live stream in order to remain eligible to win yourselves a 500 rupee Amazon voucher from us. Thank you.
Absolutely. Brilliant. I think Akshay has memorized that in his sleep. He says that pretty well. But yeah, good question. Again, you guys can think about something in Cricket.info. Don't make the mistake you made last time. Do, of course, hit us up in the comments after the live show indeed. Right, before we move on to the 12th man segment, a producer kindly reminds me saying you forgot to show the what to watch this week graphic, which is also a constant fixture in the MNL. And just if you guys need reminding, there is RCB's last game of the WPL this season against MI in Mumbai. So that'll be a watch. Thursday, Eliminator, watch along with Akshay and the girls. Friday, if you guys are interested in women's cricket, the first women's T20 between New Zealand and Sri Lanka, that'll be something to savor. And Saturday, the women's continues with their action in the WPL final. Who knows who's going to make that? And there's more to come. Sunday includes a New Zealand-Pakistan first T20 international as well, if you guys like that. Right, so lots to love on cricket.com and MNL and Howzzat included. But we have one final segment, which is yours, the 12th man segment in episode 70. Let's go. Right, key in your questions right now. I'll take as many as I can in the next 5 to 10 minutes because we're already 3 minutes over time. Saram 18 had this one to say, so let's just pick two to satisfy his curiosity, guys. Nick, you go first. Pick two players to watch out for this season in the options he's listed. He's listed 8 of them. For the listeners on Spotify, I'll name you the options. 1, Suyan Shekde. 2, Rasikdar. 3, NKR. 4, Aaron Hardy. 5, Ankush Raghuvanshi. 6, Anshul Kamboj. 7, Andre Siddharth. And 8, Ashutosh Sharma. So next pick 2 and then Akshay can pick 2.
Rasikdar and Anshul Kamboj.
Okay, love it. Both pacers. What about you, Akshay?
I'm just torn between should I go for names who haven't played ever before or should I... and I'm also realistically trying to think who all will play. So Rasikdar for sure. I'm guessing he will start for RCB. And also, matlab agar acha karta hai, to it'll also help the side that I support. Second name will be Ankush Raghuvanshi because main reason, barring Nitish Kumar Reddy, I guess NKR is now a big enough name to not be considered in this list. Rasikdar, Ankush Raghuvanshi, Ashutosh, and to some extent Anshul. These are the 4 players we can realistically expect to be a part of the starting 11s. I'll pick Rasik and Ankush Raghuvanshi. So fingers crossed we will get to see them do really well this season.
And Ankrish Raghuvanshi could have been an online potential, but Akshay forgot to follow up on him. I mean,
Oh God,
unfortunately.
क्या भाई अब तक follow up करता हूँ. I'm not even kidding. Last week also उनके number पे hello कैसे हो? He's like yeah we'll do something next time for sure.
I would go for number 3 there, NKR, just to stamp his authority further, get a bunch of wickets, crucial impact runs down the order for SRH. He might be batting at 4 as I speak. And Ashutosh Sharma, I think he as well. I mean, he's already kind of proven himself by taking Bumrah down in the past, but I think one more good season and it could be an entrance into the Indian team for him. Game nights this season, Akshay, include fans, please. Now, this was something shout out quite a bit by Neural Hacks with Vasant. Season 1 was done and dusted, I think, a year ago or something like that. Akshay, just shed light on this. What do you plan to do?
We will definitely try. I mean, to be honest, pura ready hai. Questions, everything's been ready. It's just that we've hardly had the time to try and execute something like this. It takes a lot of time and bandwidth, from the entire team. So we will try and figure out, Vasant, that's also something I have been working on. How do we include folks like you so that it'll be even more fun? We can also engage with you guys a lot more. But yeah, bear with us. We will definitely try and bring out something very soon with you guys.
Okay, super. Asmit asking me, Avnish bhai, how are you coping with Man United form? Look, for all you guys asking, and I know plenty of you guys get in my DMs as well, especially if United lose, all I care about is the Europa League, and that is in Europe. The league is done for me. If we can just survive, we survive. It's all good. And then I can't wait for me to start at the next season. Tajinder's asking us next, one bold prediction of IPL 2025 by all 3 of you.
Oh, wow.
Easy for me, new winner.
अरे भाई मैं सेम ही था. अच्छा कोई नहीं आप गए. Let us think. बोल्ड प्रेडिक्शन एक है, मतलब ऐसा करने के लिए कर सकता हूँ, बट पता नहीं मतलब करना चाहिए कि नहीं. आई फील
अभी बोल देना. इतना बोलने के बाद
MS Dhoni's last, don't say it.
That's the bold prediction, bro.
अच्छा ठीक है, I'll go for something more bold. Avnish, you go with yours. What's yours?
Mine is Bhuvneshwar Kumar will be in the contest to win the purple cap. He'll be there and thereabouts. He'll be in the top 3. I think it'll be...
How is this bold? You are saying a new ball bowler. You are saying a new ball bowler at a venue that has early swing will be in contender for purple cap. ये तुमको play bold तुम्हारी टीम का, लेकिन तुमको bold खेलने नहीं आता है.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. I would say another bold prediction. I think the IPL will see RCB, CSK, MI, and the current champions KKR qualify for the top 4. How about that? I'm going for all like the OG teams. I mean, all 3 champions and 1 social media champion. So I think that's my bold prediction. Next, any bold prediction from you? Any bold prediction at all?
I only said no. You will see a new winner this year.
Oh, correct. Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. All right.
I'm still thinking. I'm confused between a couple, but yeah, you keep taking questions.
Reece Topley को अभी तक कुछ नहीं हुआ. Asking.
उसको वेट करो, वांगखेड़े में आते ही ना पैर रखते ही उसका हो जाएगा. एक्सपीरियंस से बता रहे हैं, टेंशन मत लो.
Okay, fair enough. There was one more question. I mean, plenty, but there was one more with regards to this man. What's his name? I forgot his name.
Okay, I figure I found a bold prediction finally. Ishan Kishan to be the highest run scorer this season.
Ishan Kishan, who?
Yeah,
like in the IPL.
हाँ बाबा और कहाँ?
Oh my word, that's quite ridiculous.
Please note the SRH के left-handers में Ishan Kishan will be the highest scorer.
Cricket for saying question is Isala Cup Namde. I mean, we always keep saying that, but what's the point? What are your thoughts on creepy cameramen?
एक और bold दे देता हूँ. You lose the eliminator again.
Oh no! Don't be like Ambati Raidu. Ambati Raidu also, you saw that Sanjay Bangar Ambati Raidu clip, and he was just like, yeah, we'll make the playoffs, but then you guys won't get past eliminated too. And I was like, wow. Tanveer saying SRH will win the IPL. Remember, IPL chat will continue in next MNL. It is going to be top. Neural Hacks with Vasant saying his bold prediction, which is KL highest run scorer with a strike rate of 159 with DC winning the trophy. That is incredible. And Riddhi saying, how you guys been tough to catch you guys live, but there I am to rewatch the streams though. And that is amazing move to end this podcast. Look, all you guys love MNL. We're 70 episodes done. If you guys have paid attention to our thumbnail game, the first 35 episodes had a different one. The next 35 has, and now this new thumbnail will be probably featuring into the 100 episodes and more going forward. Right. Thank you so much, Akshay and Nikhil. We're gone way past time, 9 minutes, 25 seconds to say the least. But keep your comments coming through. Like this video, all you lovers of cricket.com. So much of content that we put out yesterday in terms of the short content and, of course, the Hindi live show. Go check it out. And there is a banging bonanza IPL preview next week on MNL. Trust me when I say that. Hopefully we can get him on, and there will be a lot going on in that discussion. Enjoy your week, and I'll see you boys in office soon. Nix, of course, I'll see you the next time we do a live show. Until then, it's a goodbye from all of us. And again, happy birthday, Akshay Kumar Swami. Thanks for telling us so.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Yes, yeah, guys.